Have y'all heard that on this day in 1620, the Mayflower set sail with 102 passengers and no GPS? Coming at you. Well, butter my biscuit, today's Mayflower Day. On September 16th, 1620, the Mayflower sails from Plymouth, England, bound for the Americas with 102 folks. Now, get this. They were headed for Virginia, but ended up in Massachusetts. That's like trying to get to Disney World and ending up at Dollywood. In a difficult Atlantic crossing, the 90-foot Mayflower encountered rough seas and storms and was blown more than 500 miles off course. 500 miles! Y'all, that's like missing your exit and ending up in the wrong state. Honey, I thought you said turn left at that iceberg. But here's the beautiful part. Being lost led them to Plymouth Rock, where they founded one of America's first successful colonies. Sometimes God's GPS is better than ours, though I bet those Pilgrims would have appreciated a Cracker Barrel about halfway through. Hoo-hoo! Y'all, today's National Guacamole Day. I know what some of y'all are thinking. That's fancy Mexican food. Hold your horses, partner. National Guacamole Day. Green Gold has been winning over Southern Hearts faster than sweet tea to church social. Fun fact, avocados, whatever, were called alligator pears by early Americans because of their bumpy green skin. Leave it to Americans to look at a fruit and think, you know what? That looks like a swamp reptile. Best part about guacamole, it goes perfect with everything. On your chips, on your tacos, even on your burger. Yep, it's like mayo's fancy cousin from out west. Y'all, this Southern goodness is brought to you by White Lily Flour. Speaking of Southern staples, let's talk about White Lily. Founded in 1883 in Knoxville, Tennessee, White Lily's been making Southern biscuits fluffy as clouds for over 140 years. Here's what makes White Lily so special. It's made from soft red winter wheat grown right here in the South. That low protein content is what gives you those tender, flaky biscuits that melt your mouth like butter on a hot skillet. My grandmama always said, you can tell a lot about a woman by her biscuits. Well, if that's true, then White Lily's been making Southern cooks look like angels since before automobiles. So whether it's Sunday morning biscuits or your famous pound cake, White Lily turns ordinary recipes into extraordinary memories. Y'all hear some good book wisdom? Let's talk about Jesus turning water into wine at the wedding in Cana. Yep, this was Jesus' first recorded miracle. And boy, did he pick a good one. Now picture this. You had a wedding reception, the punch bowl runs dry, and suddenly your cousin Jesus shows up with the solution. Not just any solution. The best wine they had ever tasted, y'all. The host was so impressed, he asked, why they save the good stuff for last? But here's what tickles me. Mary, his mama, told the servants, whatever he tells you to do, you just do it. Now, that sounds like every Southern mama I've ever known. I don't care if it sounds crazy, you do what that boy says. The real miracle isn't just turning water to wine, though. It's that Jesus cares about our celebrations, our joy, our everyday moments. He didn't just come for the big spiritual stuff. He came for wedding receptions, too. It's National Play-Doh Day. Oh, boy. Now, here's a fun fact that'll knock your socks off. Play-Doh was originally created as wallpaper cleaner. What? Back in the 1950s, folks used this white putty to clean soot off their wallpaper. But then, a teacher realized kids love playing with it more than adults like cleaning with it. So they added colors and called it Play-Doh, and who don't love that smell? Sometimes the best inventions happen by accident. And just because we grow up, that don't mean we have to stop having fun. So today, maybe grab some Play-Doh and let your inner kid loose. Though I do recommend washing your hands before dinner. Play-Doh doesn't taste near as good as it smells. Y'all, let's talk about country music. In September 1985, Alabama ruled the charts with There's No Way. Now, Alabama was hotter than a summer sidewalk back then, but let's examine those lyrics for a minute. The song goes, there's no way I can make it without you. There's no way that I'd even try. Now, that's some serious commitment, but it's also admitting complete helplessness. It's like saying, honey, I'm so dependent on you, I can't even imagine functioning as a human being. That's not romance, that's a medical condition. Doctor, my boyfriend can't tie his shoes without me. Is this normal? But you know what? Alabama sold millions of records with that song. It turns out declaring total romantic dependency was exactly what folks wanted to hear in '85. Maybe they were just ahead of their time. Nowadays, we call that attachment issues. Back then, they called it a love song. That's all for today's Have Y'all Heard? Because now y'all have. Leave a comment if you're smart or smiling or hungry. Until next time, later, taters.